I wanted to show the Multiclix finger pricker. This is actually quite an old one, the branding's rubbed off. This is an innovation. In the old days you used to have little lancets where you twist the head off and you had an exposed, very sharp lancet, and you'd shove it into a finger pricker and it would work. This is a way of using a drum of lancets, and you'd actually have 6 inside the drum. Now the best thing about this is it doesn't matter what you do, you can't hurt yourself because they retract inside, and it means that you can actually just bung this in a bin without worrying that somewhere down the line someone's going to get their fingers pricked. So the little drums of sensors, you get 6 in the drum, you pop the lid back on, then you press that, oh that's already primed, you press that in to prime it, and then there's a little button there that should light up yellow, and you press that to let it go. Just to prove the point, I'll move that one to one side because that was my sample one. This is my kit bag, which I use all the time. I'm cherry picking because that is a contour link, which I will show how it talks to my pump. I can get my pump out. But as a finger pricker, I like the Accu-Chek Multiclix, so I'm going to use it. Now, the contour link is, it's interesting. Different suppliers don't necessarily organise their products to talk to each other, but in this case they have. So Bayer, which is one of the big players of blood testing, have the contour link, which talks to the Medtronic, Paradigm and VO pumps. So all it really does is when you blood test, it beams it into the pump, which just gives a whole bunch more knowledge. When you come to downloading your pump, the blood test readings are also shown, which is really interesting. Very simple to use, the contour link. It's small. Shove the sensor in, strip, all the strips. Do your little blood test, stick that on there, 5-second countdown, and blood test bingo, and the result is 7.3, which is hard to see from there, but that is singing away on that screen as well. Now, there's other things you can do with the pump in terms of a bolus wizard, which I'll go into on another day. But that's a very helpful thing, and that's the contour link, which if you're on the Medtronic pump is a very useful thing indeed. Another thing to bear in mind about the Multiclix is apparently a lot of people don't blood test because of this idea of painful finger pricking. All I can say is that 30 years ago it really was painful. These things used to charge up and bang into you, gush blood, and it was all a bit more dramatic. These things are nifty, easy to use, and you can adjust the depth. So if you were a small child, you'd only need a shallow depth. If you were a builder, you might need a deeper depth to get the penetration, to get the blood out. But also the machines these days need far less blood, so the whole thing is not as dramatic as it used to be. With the dawn of better technology, the lancets are very sharp. You can reuse these a couple of times. I mean, most diabetics I know keep using a lancet until it hurts, but the rest of the time you can almost not notice it at all. There's some good practice as well to maybe use the outer sides of your fingers, not the fingertip, which is obviously one of your most sensitive bits of your body. And some people have preferences as to where else they take blood from. And you can do something these days called alternative site testing, which is that you can get blood samples from other bits of your body. To be frank, I actually think that the fuss about painful finger pricking is gone, more or less. It's not that painful, it's not even that inconvenient anymore. There's some bits of literature, particularly about the Multiclix and the sensor drums.